The next 9/11 won't come from al-Qaeda. Instead, it will be launched by ISIS. That's the warning from a CIA veteran.
Other leaders also say ISIS is getting stronger, while our ability to track them may be getting weaker. Heather Sells has the story.
Government officials are deeply concerned about the threat that ISIS poses in the U.S. and that it's getting worse. The deadly assault on a cartoon exhibit in Texas last weekend has only heightened the alarm. And now a top CIA veteran is warning it's only a matter of time before the jihadist group decides to launch a 9/11 style attack on American soil. If we don't get ISIS under control, we're going to see that kind of attack, said Michael Morell in a USA Today interview. Homeland Security Chief Jay Johnson says Americans should continue to go to public events, but at the same time be vigilant. The Pentagon, meanwhile, has ordered U.S. military bases to upgrade their force protection condition status because of concerns about ISIS. Public officials say one reason ISIS poses such a threat is because of its smart use of social media.
We're very definitely in a new environment because of ISIL's effective use of social media, the internet, which has the ability to reach into the homeland and possibly inspire others.
The top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee says the U.S. should not underestimate this social media power.
I think it is kill, 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 and it is putting the lone wolf in a position that's never happened before, that has never been in before, and that is, you do it and we take credit for it.
And some lawmakers are also concerned that a recent ruling against the National Security Agency and its collection of phone records hurts our ability to counter ISIS.
Well, it's real simple. That turns us back to pre-9/11.
So government officials have several reasons to be concerned about the threat ISIS poses in the U.S., a threat that is clearly getting worse. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Well, the problem here is we're not identifying what the source is. What's the source of the ideology? Until we understand what is causing the recruitment. And the recruitment is very definitely based on Islam. There's been a caliphate announced, and under Islam, if you don't pledge allegiance to the caliph, then you're considered apostate. So that's what's happening here. And the more ISIS is allowed to entrench itself in parts of Iraq, all of this goes back to a decision to bring our troops home. And in that vacuum, ISIS was allowed to germinate. Now, what do? Well, you've got to go after ISIS. That's the source of this. And the more they have victories, the more they have successes, the more attractive they are going to be, and the more recruits, whether you want to call them lone wolves or not, it's still, these are people inspired by saying we can have a caliphate again, we can have a caliph, I pledge myself to him. Until we take that off the table, that this caliphate isn't legitimate, it isn't going to succeed, until we do that, we're not going to solve this problem. Well, in other news, another round of wild weather hit different parts of the country over the weekend. Charlene Aaron has that story from the CBN Newsroom. Charlene?
Gordon, that wild weather included terrifying tornadoes from Iowa to Texas.
There goes the school! There goes the school!
That severe storm struck in Lake City, Iowa, and in the small town of Van, Texas, about 70 miles from Dallas. What appears to have been a tornado injured about a dozen people last night, destroying homes and downing trees. A triage area was established at a church before the injured were taken to a nearby hospital. Folks are still going door to door to see if there are any more injured. And in South Dakota, 9 people were injured in one town, and a church was destroyed Sunday morning while members were gathered for Sunday school.
Trying to keep it together and not get scared because there's a lot of kids.
We huddled in the basement in the bathroom, and we huddled down, we held on our knees, we said the Lord's Prayer, and we felt the pressure, and you could hear the bricks falling, and we knew it wasn't good.
And if you can believe it, a spring snowstorm in Colorado. As much as 8 inches of snow fell in and around Denver yesterday, with many tree limbs snapping under its weight. The death toll from that massive earthquake in Nepal 2 weeks ago is still climbing. It's now over 8,000, with nearly 18,000 people injured, and more than 10% of the country's homes were destroyed or damaged. The country has also been hit by more than 150 aftershocks. Operation Blessing is on the scene in Nepal, providing clean water, food, and other desperately needed aid for survivors. Gordon, good to see that Operation Blessing's there helping.
Yes, it's a joint effort between Operation Blessing, CBN India, our ministry partners in Nepal. We've been there for years now, and we're there. We're glad to help and glad to help those people.